Regular Corte Madera Town Council meeting for Tuesday, March 17th, 2020 is currently in session. Town Clerk, will you take call a roll, please?
Councilmember Bailey.
Here.
Councilmember Kuhnhart.
Here by telephone.
Councilmember Ravazia.
Here.
Vice Mayor Beckman.
Here.
Mayor Andrews.
Present. Okay. Will you join me in a salute to the flag, please?
To the flag of the United States of America,
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
we'll work on that.
So I guess the
We need a
first
conductor.
thing is our town attorney, Teresa, could you explain the logistics of this and calling it in? Sorry.
Absolutely. Ordinarily, council meetings, council members can participate under the Brown Act remotely only under certain conditions, one of which is that the location be noticed on the agenda and that public access be allowed at the remote location. Last week, on Thursday, the governor issued an executive order pursuant to the state of emergency that the governor had declared that allows for participation by council members remotely without noticing on the agenda that they will be remote or providing for public access to each of the remote locations. There needs to still be one location where the public may come and participate if they want and give public comment in person, and that is being complied with. That location is Town Hall. So the circumstances under which this council meeting is being held pursuant to an executive order of the governor suspending some of the Brown Act requirements.
Okay, good. So the way I intend to hold this meeting is I'm going to limit the agenda to open time and the consent calendar and defer all the business items, items 6A through 7A to a later meeting. So the first open item is open time for public comment. And at the beginning of each council meeting, any member of the public may address the town council concerning any item not on the council's agenda. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes or unless otherwise specified by the mayor or the presiding officer. The public will be given an opportunity to speak on each agenda item at the time it is called. The council may discuss or take act. Okay. Okay. And so I will call open time, and the town clerk will read emails we've received with public comments. Okay. Ms. Vaughn.
Thank you, Mayor Andrews. As we discussed previously, all public comments received via email will be read into the public record, and I will start the timer for 3 minutes when I start to read the first email received. And if I don't finish the comment in the 3 minutes allotted, they will be posted on the website tomorrow morning. To the Corte Madera Town Council. Oh, this is from Carolyn Svensson. To the Corte Madera Town Council, we are a core group of Madera Gardens residents CC'd on this email who believe that the roundabout proposed for the intersection of Tamil Vista and Madera is very ill-advised, and that the analysis done by town planners and their justifications for the roundabout are exceedingly remiss. We want you to be aware of our concerns and to ensure that this project does not move forward, at least until you schedule a date to meet with us to present our concerns. To summarize, the roundabout is to replace a four-way stop at this intersection. This will mean that between Warnham and Tamalpais, there will be a 2/3 mile stretch with no command to the driver to stop, including cars exiting the freeway at the end of Madera's Chevron station. This leaves pedestrians and bicyclists without any protection from oncoming cars and assumes that cars will slow down for a roundabout. The justification for the roundabout primarily comes from the Parisi Consulting Company. Their analysis is very generic to any location and is no way specific to the dynamics of Madera Gardens and its relationship to the town center. They say that their analysis is based on, quote, like, quote, conditions, but when our group researched further, we found that claim to be inaccurate. We are attaching documents from one of our groups that explains these discrepancies in how the project was analyzed and which offers further understanding of the implications of the project. The overriding concern is that there has been virtually no direct outreach to the Madera Gardens neighborhood. RJ advised that the information was on the town's website and Nextdoor, but that no other direct research has been done on this project. That no other direct outreach has been done on this project. Since our group has posted this project on Nextdoor, there has been a huge neighborhood response, most of which is either that people were very surprised that they didn't know about the project or were very concerned about the project. It is very disheartening that the planning department did not see a need to reach out to the community when removing stop signs, nor did they ever reach out to the Wolfers or the Websters who own homes exactly on these corners. I'm attaching a photo of the IJ from a few weeks ago showing how other towns reach out to their communities over things as simple as the location of toilets and street striping. Several of us met with RJ Succo and Todd Cusimano approximately 3 weeks ago to discuss our concerns. RJ took note of same and has recently sent us a revised plan from Parisi as well, as he has hired another consulting firm to look at the intersection. As we requested, we appreciate that RJ took our concern seriously and is attempting to work with us. However, both the Wolfers and the Websters find that even a revised plan presents a roundabout that is hugely disruptive to their ingress and egress from their homes. We believe that the roundabout will also impinge on parking any cars in the first few spaces of Council Quest, both sides, which are needed more than ever since the new bike lanes will eliminate parking on Tamil Vista in this block. Additionally, the residents on Council Crest are very concerned about how they will enter the roundabout, let alone exit it. The 3 minutes has elapsed. There were approximately 3 paragraphs left to go, and this full public comment plus the response from the town manager, along with all of the attachments provided by Carolyn Svensson, will be on the town's website tomorrow morning. Thank you. Clear. Start. Now we have a public comment received from David McPherson in response to current council member Sloan Bailey and Mayor Jim Andrews having completed their service to the town council after tonight's meeting. It says, Rebecca, I was going to come so I could see Sloan and Jim tonight when I made these remarks, but reconsidered giving COVID-19. Please share with council tonight. Sloan Bailey, your public service to our town is nothing short of remarkable. You are always prepared and you bring a solid legal mind and ability to analyze issues. More important, you are sincere in your concern for the community and you carefully listen to the individual citizens who voice their opinions. And when you don't have an answer or could be persuaded to change your vote, you are disarmingly transparent, which gives people confidence in your judgment. Jim Andrews, I did not want to support you because your election took my friend Bob Ravazio off the town council, but I got over it and you grew on me. You consistently bring a unique perspective to issues that has broadened my understanding. Your grasp of the town's budget is impressive, and you never let your ego get in the way of your concern and advocacy for the town's citizens. My family is deeply grateful for the service provided by both Jim Andrews and Sloan Bailey. Finally, the town manager, Public Works, and Parisi Transportation has done an outstanding job of responding to the certain neighbors of late concerns over construction of the Madera roundabout. Thank you. David McPherson and Kia and Lucy McPherson. And that concludes the public comment received via email.
I would thank David, but I'm not allowed to comment on public consent, public comment time.
Actually, I will check the email box one more time.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, members of the council, just add, because it is part of the public record of that comment.
Speak up.
Staff has Staff did respond to the roundabout issue, and again, we've had a large amount of comments about it, and due to the tight schedule that this roundabout has to go through the public process and ultimately be approved by council, there's no way we would be able to engage the community the way we really should on this issue. And so for that fact, the Public Works Director and I decided today, and did respond to the email that was read into the record tonight, that we're going to basically remove the roundabout from the Tamil Vista Complete Streets project, and we'll work on that Complete Streets project this summer, and then we'll bring the roundabout discussion back to council through appropriate community engagement. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah, yes. Who is this?
This is David
Okay.
Kuhnhart. With the work on the complete streets on Tamil Vista, will the end of Tamil Vista as it approaches that intersection be improved in a way that would be consistent with either a good complete streets or a roundabout? In other words, with that central island idea? Or is that not feasible?
I might recommend
Yeah,
at
we're
this
outside.
point that perhaps the town manager provide a written email to council members to update them on this matter.
I'll follow up, David, with that.
Thank you. Okay, so the next item is a consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to group items together that are routine or have been discussed previously and do not require further discussion. They will be approved by a single motion. Any member of the town council, town staff, or public may request removal of an item for discussion. We've received such a request for 4B, which is related to the ADUs. So could I hear a motion for the other items unless you would like them pulled? Any council member want any other items pulled?
Yeah, I'll move to approve items 4A through 4H, excluding item 4B.
Second. That's David seconding.
Who was first?
That sounded like Bob.
A member of the community.
A citizen.
Bob?
Okay. Call vote. Councilmember Bailey.
Yeah.
Councilmember Kuhnhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Ravazio. Councilmember Ravazio.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Beckman.
Yes.
Mayor Andrews.
Yes. Okay. And I will now adjourn this regular meeting of the town of Corte Madera. Okay. Okay. And in 1 minute, we'll start up the special meeting. Special meeting of the town of Town Council of Corte Madera for Tuesday, March 17th at 6:45 PM is now in session. Rebecca, will you take a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bailey.
Yes.
Councilmember Kuhnhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Ravazio.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Beckman.
Yes.
Mayor Andrews.
Here. And can we dispense with the pledges of allegiance since we've done it already?
Yes.
Okay, all right. The first business item is consideration possible adopt.
Oh, wait, no.
Okay. The first business item is consideration and possible adoption of resolution number 13/2020, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Corte Madera ratifying and modifying the town manager / emergency operation manager's proclamation of local emergency. Okay. Public comment on any item may be provided in person or by email at publiccomment@tcmmail.org at any time until public comment is called on this particular agenda item. So, Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is an unprecedented time, and this is definitely a first for your town manager. On March 13th of 2020, in my role as the Emergency Operations Manager under the Corte Madera Municipal Code, proclaimed a state of emergency, a local emergency. This is a legal document that allows me to mobilize resources, accelerate emergency planning, and streamline staffing, and to allow future reimbursements by the state of California and the federal governments. The proclamation resources, really state that this isn't business as usual, and it gives us the tools to really move government forward for the town, and again, position us for reimbursements as we move forward. This is really unique because of the pandemic. As you know, the community process is really curbed and has challenged all of the cities and towns in the state and really the United States and world. And so this proclamation is really important for us, where I have the authority to make expenditures that are normally not within my realm of approval status. And so the council has 7 days to ratify this decision, and you have a resolution attached to my staff report, and staff is asking you to adopt that resolution ratifying the proclamation of local emergency. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Let me, David, David Conrad, do you have any questions?
This is Sloan Bailey speaking. Can I ask a question, or is somebody else?
I was going to go down the list. You were next up. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sloan.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Just a mechanical question. Are our town council meetings going to be continued on a twice monthly basis in the interim, or what's the plan with respect to us getting together?
So the next step is to cancel any council meetings for the rest of this month. The next council meeting in play would be, I believe, April 7th. That would be to certify the county election, to appoint the new council members, as well as the mayor and vice mayor, and to swear them in. And so right now, our goal is to have that meeting. It would be remote again, and to keep it short. And my plan is on a monthly basis, so that would be the only meeting in April, most likely, would be to, via technology like we are now, basically have consent calendar agenda items, and really to keep a transparent log of any decisions your town manager makes under this emergency proclamation that I normally wouldn't in the scope of my duties, just to keep the government running and to keep the council and community updated. But really, I see this thing lasting 6 to 8 weeks, if not longer, and so I would see one meeting a month at this point, really just to keep the processes of government in place, but on a consent calendar basis only.
Okay, this is Sloan speaking again. I appreciate that answer, Todd, and I am relieved to hear that I can that April 7th will go forward as planned. But the genesis of the question is because I noticed in the emergency decree that the powers vest with you until sort of the crisis is passed, and the town council, I guess, decrees otherwise. And I was sort of curious, how mechanically does that happen? And I guess your answer is once a month we'll have a phone call like this, or whoever's on the council will have a phone call like this, and one of the agenda items ought to be, let's do another month, right?
Yes, and if something were to happen in between that, we will be in constant communication. We would obviously hold it. We would hold a special meeting if the council all of a sudden didn't want to wait 2 weeks within that 1 month period. We would bring something to you sooner. But yes, that's the goal.
So,
Okay, I'm totally content with it, and I know Jimmy got asked for public comment, but when you're ready, I'll make the motion that we ratify it.
Okay.
If I may, Mayor, if I may for a moment, Mayor. Ordinarily, a local emergency has to be renewed every 60 days under the government code provisions. As a part of the executive order issued last week by the governor, that renewal requirement has been waived, and a declaration of emergency stays in effect until it is ended by the agency that declared it. So you have to affirmatively end it.
Or could we
I
modify
got it.
this so it would exist until the sooner of it is, its termination is declared by the town council of the town of Corte Madera, or say June 30th? And then in June, we could extend it to September if necessary.
I have a question. This is David.
Yes, go ahead.
Is there a budget limitation for what is in the town manager's possession?
I don't believe so. I believe you would basically be giving me the authority to make budgetary decisions, unless you want to do an up to amount. You know, I don't see a circumstance that would really, the key to this, everybody, is you know, we have employment issues, MOU issues, that this allows me to work outside, you know, the MOU, so to speak, if people are working from home, and how I handle that. This allows me to sign contracts, you know, that to move a project or something in the $100,000 range where I normally have $75,000 spending authority. You know, I don't see a circumstance where your town manager is going to spend, you know, $1 million for something. So it just allows me to move the business of the town. And again, this is something that I see reporting to you on a monthly basis, so you understand those decisions that I'm making. If something unique came up, your town manager would communicate by practice with all the council members before that was made. And then again, I don't recommend any changes to the reso. I think we have 60 days to review this, but I see this as a monthly discussion. I think it's just better governance anyway, so that's my plan.
Thank you. I just thought that should be on the record.
And one question I have is, we still need to get the town budget approved by June 30?
No, we don't. And so we have, as you know, we've approved a 2-year budget, and so that was probably the best decision we've made yet in the last few years. And so, so we're okay. We have spending authority for through this fiscal year and next.
Okay, good. Bob Ravazio, do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay. Eli Beckman, do you have any questions?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay. Any public comment?
Thank you, Mayor Andrews. I have 2 public comments that we received via email to publiccomment@tcmmail.org. The first is from Valeria Sasser. She says, "Dear Todd and council members," oh wait, I forgot to start the timer. Sorry. "Dear Todd and council members, I fully support the proclamation of local emergency. In a town like Corte Madera, with an incredibly high number of elderly, the town community may be needed to provide to those who need in this epidemic crisis in any way or form, and we must assure we can do it and be reimbursed. Respectfully, Valeria Sasser."
Okay.
There's one more. The second public comment was received from David McPherson and his family. "To the Town Council for the Town of Corte Madera. Without reservation, our family encourages the Town Council to adopt the resolution ratifying the Town Manager's proclamation of local emergency." From Kia, Lucy, and David McPherson.
Okay, would anyone like to make a motion, either with or without the amendment I suggested?
I'll make a motion. This is Sloan Bailey speaking, that we ratify it as is. I hear your comment, by the way, Jim. I just think we're in such a fluid situation. Let's let it ride for now.
Okay. Any seconds?
Second.
I'll second. This is Bob Ravazio.
Sloan motion, Bob second. Councilmember Bailey.
Yes.
Councilmember Kuhnhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Ravazio.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Beckman.
Yes.
Mayor Andrews.
Yes. And I hereby declare this special meeting of the Town Council of Corte Madera to be adjourned.